It's Friday, which means it's time for the DMV Soundcheck. DMV native Tamara Jade is in the spotlight these days due to her recent success on the show The Voice. I caught up with her this week to see how she's handling all this newfound fame. 1 year later, you were on our stage for DMV Soundcheck, and now you're just rocking national television. What has it been like, Tamara?
Oh man, I mean, this last year has just been so incredible since I, saw you guys. I was gearing up to go on tour with Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles, which was amazing. And so this year in January, we did the Blue Note cruise. And then in February, we did a tour in Asia, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Tokyo. And then the world stopped as we all experienced together. And so it was just kind of like the highest of highs and then boom, the low. So throughout everything though, I just continued to make music at home and do what I could do. I put out a single and just was still trying to move the ball forward. And then this came up. And so in June, we finally got the call that they were like, okay, now we're ready. We got to audition this summer and I was able to get all 4 chairs from all 4 coaches.
Crying 'cause I love
you. That performance was amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. And now you are here about to go to the live shows. First off though, how's John Legend? What's it like working with him?
Is a dream come true. He is everything. I think it's so beautiful when you meet an artist and they are exactly the way that you imagine them to be. He is exactly who he presents himself to be. He's very poised, speaks very well, but he's still fun. He's still very much down to earth, and he's still a musician. Like I feel like when I'm working with him, I'm working with another working musician. Not like this global superstar, GQ, sexiest man alive. Like he's so regular. Like and that's, I think to me, the best part of this process with him. It feels familiar and it feels like somebody who really understands the craft.
Oh, I mean, it's a match made in heaven between the two of you. And, we've always thought you were fantastic. I remember when you came on DMV Soundcheck, we were just blown away. You had just come off performing background for Lizzo, for the VMAs. You've gone on to do all of this, but you've just gotten better and better. How do you think you've evolved as an artist experiencing all of this?
Thank you for saying that. I mean, my goal is to always be better than the last time you heard me. It's one thing for people to say like, oh, she's doing more things now. But for people to say like, she is really getting better. Like that to me is what this is about. And all of this has just been so much growth, rapid growth. And, they say it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. And I've been at it for 20. So I'm long overdue.
You are ready.
For a lot of this. And I feel prepared. I feel ready. I feel like whatever stages the world has for me, I'm ready to take them. It started with Lizzo. It started with how free that experience made me feel and how unapologetic I became about who I am.
What keeps you going and what message do you have for those out there that are see that dream and are walking towards it?
Ever since I was a little girl, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I knew that from the first time I sang in church, sang my first solo, and people cried, and I asked my dad, well, why were people crying? And he said, sweetheart, they were touched. And I'm like, but I didn't touch them. Once I realized that my voice could affect how people felt, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And so I think overall, remembering my why for why I'm doing this is what keeps me going when the money isn't flowing. And I would say to anybody, or especially to young girls, maybe who look like me, or just kids who maybe are interested in music or the arts, and perhaps they don't know where to get started or know what to do, really get to know yourself, I would say. And that's an evolutionary, lifelong process. But if you know who you are and you know what you want, then that makes everything all the more clear when you're on your path.
We just love her. She's so talented. Now the live rounds begin Monday, so don't forget to vote for Tamara. We want to see her keep going. If you are a member of a band, group, or solo artist from DC, Maryland, or Virginia, get in touch with us. Send us a message to DMV Soundcheck at WUSA9.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at DMV Soundcheck9. Good luck, Tamara.
It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for our DMV Soundcheck, and today we are talking to a DMV native who just started releasing her own music. I spoke to Rashida Mord, who has a powerful message with her song, Colorblind.
Rashida, thank you so much for joining us today. You look lovely, and we're excited that you're back in your old stomping grounds at the DMV. You grew up here, right?
Yes, I did, and thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're always excited to feature a local artist who came from here. What has your music journey been like? Where are you right now with your music and putting out new songs?
Right now, 2020 was I put my first song out ever. So I was I was scared, but I just had to put the fear aside and say, hey, it's now or never. You know, I need to do this. Not just for myself, but so many people were inspired by some of my lyrics to my music that they kept telling me, you need to put this out. You know, it's people that need to hear this. So that was one of the reasons why I just went on and said, you know, let me just do it and not be afraid.
Why should the color of our skin keep love from blooming in our hearts? Love knows not what the difference is. What we've created in our minds. We're like the rainbows in the sky, so beautiful. The butterflies, all shades of gold and sand. They blend blackberry, copper, olive skin. But to each other we're black and white. Color so beautiful, why would we wanna be colorblind? For years we lived denying what's inside. But what do we see when we look through our own eyes? Can't deny.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. To hear more from Rashida, you can visit her website, borntowritesongs.com. And also remember, if you are a member of a band, group, or solo artist from DC, Maryland, or Virginia, get in touch with us here. Email us at WUSA9.com/DMV Soundcheck. And you can also, that's our website, you can also follow us on Instagram at DMV Soundcheck9.
It's Friday, which means it's the DMV Soundcheck, and this week we are merging gospel with hip-hop. Virginia rapper Chandler Alexander had music aspirations for many years before he was incarcerated. And while in jail, Chandler found Jesus Christ and God and decided that it was time to spread the word through his music. I spoke to Chandler about the inspiration behind his motivation and his single called No Curfew.
What saved you? What sparked this? You say you were saved. You were in prison.
Yeah,
How did this happen?
like it's crazy. So, you know, I got saved like I said, 2017. It's so crazy. Like then that same year, like a few months later, I get locked up and do 2 years. I was like, look, at that time, I ain't gonna lie, I was in the back of the cop car. I was like, I just gave my life to you and you locked me up. You locked me up. So, but then, you know, I felt his presence. You know, I felt the presence as if someone was actually touching me, like on my back, and I felt comfort.
Snapping for a purpose, it's not too late, it's no curfew. Snapping for a purpose, it's not too late, it's no curfew. Snapping for a purpose, it's not too late, it's no curfew. Snapping for a purpose, it's not too late, it's no curfew. Look, Satan about to be mad, do my praise dance, pop my head, rock my shoulders, hands up, amen. They don't wanna see me win, they want me in that lion's den. I will travel the distance, Satan can't stop my ambition. Nope, watch Question mark, no dishes. Let go my mistress. Now I live and got district. No longer am I restricted. It makes sense. Just change. They'll kiss Satan for a little fame. God gave me flames like Luke Kane. Alexa even know his name. No stopping his warrior. Sweet feeling like Oreo. Why see dead as the coroner? Devil now on full alert. So now I'm going full berserk with a word from God on every verse. Now I'm going full berserk with a word from God on every verse.
As a lyricist in the hip hop world, it's really no surprise that you were an English teacher for so many years. A high school English teacher in Baltimore City, right?
Yeah, I taught at a school called Reach Partnership for a number of years. It was like a historic Lake Clifton campus. When I was there, I taught 10th and 11th grade, which I loved because I felt I got to really help shape and influence what their next steps were. I also spent some time as a special educator. I taught some history. And I do miss it. I do miss it. But I do some PR work now too, for artists, and I help artists learn the ropes in the industry and help them inform some of their next steps. So I feel like I still get to exercise that muscle a little bit.
Why is there an inclination to lean towards a certain direction?
You just can't go, I have a measured point of view.
That is what ruins discourse. I think it's important to have conversations with people that you don't agree with just to find out who they are and what they think.
Look, yeah, I ain't begging for respect from you when I spent so many years playing empty rooms. If you connect, it's cool, but I don't sit down and write it while expecting you to. You're gonna find a wrong tweet, and whatever I do, I want all your receipts since you exited the womb. If I stand to the left, I'll get a better review. Cause any other rhetoric is prejudice. He's a veteran, has a different presidential view. You really think that you're superior in everything you do? I ain't pro-Trump though, I'm pro-difference of opinion. I'm pro-listening to you until you're finished. I'm afraid of a generation of minions who are quick to piggyback before they ever really get it. Man, you're falling in a line and really think you're independent. You're just marching with your party, left, right, left, exit. Too complex for complex. You got next, but not yet. They gon' cancel me out, cause they can't handle me now. I just keep it a bean, I just keep it a bean. I'm just keeping it me, I'm just keeping it me. Too complex for complex. You got next, but not yet. I became old school way before I graduated. I feel like I haven't made it in a class I have an A in for as long as I remember. I've been gone until November and suspended animation like the head of animation at Disney. Wrong, had to fact check it. We all lie sometimes, I try to correct a man. Rap genius don't post most geniuses. Annotating ABCs for the fetuses. It's meaningless to read a recipe with no ingredients and rap caviar. I'll spit it out before I eat that. Got drive, I don't need you to believe in it. Keep your fake hand from the club, Chubbs Peterson.
In today's DMV Soundcheck, we are featuring Ayo. She is a Nigerian woman who spent most of her life growing up in Atlanta.
A survivor of sexual assault and struggled with self-identity from a young age. Through her music, Ayo realized that there are many people who deal with the same struggles, and she uses her platform to let her followers know that they are not alone.
Music connects us, doesn't it? Right now, Ayo is an artist in resident at the Music Center at Strathmore. She has been featured on NPR, BET, and currently she can be found in the new documentary called The Apollo.
Here she is now featuring the Soul Sisters performing her single called Freedom. Take it away, guys.
In a world where people are broken and down, in a world where joy is rarely ever found, there are so many fighting for the right to be seen. In a world where the least of us are dying on the streets, we want freedom. many dying. They are taking their lives. In a world where the glamorized are hurting inside, we want freedom. Freedom from the past. Freedom. Freedom that will last. Freedom that helps us to break off the chains and forget the pain that can be erased. We want freedom. Freedom in our souls. Freedom for the young and the old. Freedom from pain that has poisoned our hearts. Freedom that gives us a brand new start. Freedom. We want, all we want, all we want, all we want is, all we want is, all we want is, all we want is freedom. We want, we want, we want, we want, all we want, all we want, all we want, all we want is, yeah, yeah. One more time. All we want, all we want, all we want is freedom. All we want is freedom.
In today's DMV Soundcheck, we are featuring Ayo. She is a Nigerian woman who spent most of her life growing up in Atlanta.
A survivor of sexual assault and struggled with self-identity from a young age. Through her music, Ayo realized that there are many people who deal with the same struggles, and she uses her platform to let her followers know that they are not alone.
Music connects us, doesn't it? Right now, Ayo is an artist in resident at the Music Center at Strathmore. She has been featured on NPR, BET, and currently she can be found in the new documentary called The Apollo.
Here she is now featuring the Soul Sisters performing her single called Freedom. Take it away, guys.
In a world where people are broken and down, in a world where joy is rarely ever found, there are so many fighting for the right to be seen. In a world where the least of us are dying on the streets, we want freedom. Freedom from the past. Freedom. Freedom that will last. Freedom that helps us to break off the chains and forget the pain that can be erased. We want freedom. Freedom in our souls. Freedom for the young and the old. Freedom from pain that has poisoned our hearts. Freedom that gives us a brand new start. We want freedom. In a world where our families are torn apart, in a world where our children have battered up hearts, there are so many dying. They are taking their lives. In a world where the glamorized are hurting inside, we freedom.